And it'll be our first thing in Know It All.
I want it all, and I want it now.
Know It All. First thing.
First things. I hate to stump everybody, but can you name a Democrat running for governor besides Bob Ferguson? Over to you, Greg.
Is it someone with a certain type of hairstyle in his last name?
In his last name, yes, it is.
Oh, good. Look at me.
And your Democratic state senator from the Sammamish Plateau, Mark Mullet, small businessman. By the way, Ferguson, Jay Inslee, I mean, where's the private sector experience with Jay Inslee besides, pushing a mop when he was 15? It's nowhere. Ferguson, similar CV on that. At least this guy has taken a risk, and he owns ice cream places.
You don't want it to be too thick.
The owner of 4 Ben & Jerry's franchises shared a company secret with us. The waffle cones are almost as important as the ice cream.
If you have a hole in your waffle cone, it makes life really problematic.
Mark Mullet.
See, a man who prioritized, right? So he describes himself, and I looked at his voting record, if there is such a thing as a moderate Democrat, because, by the way, the Sammamish Plateau, not a poor area. And you're not going to get elected proposing a state income tax up there or anything like that. But I'm going to listen. I know people that live up there, and I'm going to bounce the mullet off of them. There's no way that I'm voting for a Democrat. I just want to know I'm managing expectations, because if Dave Reichert, who's got the best chance to win of any Republican in the past 30 years, if he doesn't win, I don't want a crazy oil and business hating, crazy liberal Democrat winning.
Well, and Mark Mullet, there are reports that he's kept some of the excesses of the far left in Olympia at bay. From his, side of the political aisle.
So I'm happy about that.
Throw out the capital gains tax, which raises funds for child care subsidies. Mullet thinks the state has plenty of money to work with.
36 is going for pass. Good.
And he's correct. What about police pursuits, Mark?
And earlier this month, he voted to roll back restrictions on police chases, reversing a 2021 law he voted for.
What we need from our government is the ability to raise your hand and admit if you've made a mistake. Don't just defend your votes. Be willing to have the intellectual honesty to say, hey, we screwed up.
Thank you.
We should have done it better.
Yeah. How about now do carbon tax that you just keep? You don't even spend the money on daycare.
Let's fix it.
And that was a mistake that you made.
Yes, 100%.
Mullet knows he's going up.
What an outlier in today's Washington State Democratic Party. I mean, I don't know how he survived this long. I know Republicans that are more liberal than this guy. In this state. Anyway, I'll take, you had me in small business. Honestly, you had me at Baskin & Robbins. Not that I can. Whoever is the first person to invent a chain of keto-friendly ice cream shops, you have a license to print money. Okay, so there's that. So anyway, Mark Mullet, and they did celebrate now that he's termed out of the state senate, and so they took a group picture with a bunch of staff or something, and they're all wearing mullets, bro.
Another controversial vote. Mark Mullet was the only state senator to vote against making pickleball the official sport of the state of Washington.
Thank you.
The 2-time high school state tennis champion says pickleballers just take up too many tennis courts in the state.
So there you go. So, okay, I like I say, if he wins, I won't vomit. But he's not going to win. He doesn't have the budget nearly that Ferguson does. Ferguson has, you talk about greasing the tracks into the governor's mansion in Olympia. Ferguson has all the tickets punched on that one. Thing 2.
Second thing.
Well, so this is how, I already played Jake Sullivan's answer, didn't I? Am I the bad guy?
Is it so nice you're going to play it twice?
Yeah, don't ask a question based on the open knowledge that Biden swears and yells. So that's what Peter Doocy did. Peter Doocy yesterday at the White House.
A report that when President Biden was told his handling of the war between Israel and Hamas was starting to affect his poll numbers, the quote is, he began to shout and swear. So when he does that, is he shouting and swearing about Netanyahu or about Hamas or about his poll numbers?
this is the when did you stop beating your spouse question, because I don't think he ever did that. And so, well, you use that as the premise of your question, which is when he does that. I've never seen him do that, shout or swear in response to that. So
that is a full-on lie. That is such a bald-faced lie that's going to make the Portland Zoo's baby black rhino roll around in its mud hole. So there you go. Look at that. I guess it makes sense. It would be born without a horn, because that would be tough, even for a rhino. But anyway, until they get a horn, they're pretty darn cute things, and this one is there at the Portland Zoo. So rush on down and see it, and then it might stand up quickly and run out of the pool. There it goes. So
who's a good boy?
Yeah, who's a good rhino? I wonder if you can hand raise it or something like that, or whatever you would call it. Not kill me when you grow a horn. That deal. Thing 3.
Third thing.
So everyone is lining up behind Schumer. So I'm going to take a wild stab that Senator Chris Coons is one of them, right?
That would be correct.
Then I'm gonna suicide play this. Guess what? Schumer's right.
If you listen to the entire speech, it was a very long.
If you have to say you heard it out of context or listen to the entire thing.
Long and thoughtful and thorough speech, nearly 40 minutes. Most folks who are hearing about it are just hearing that one sentence and the exchange.
Because that was the message. Hey, Israel, elect a new prime minister. Okay, so.
Between Senator Schumer and Prime Minister Netanyahu. Senator Schumer has been a lifelong, passionate supporter of the state of Israel. A core piece of his message was that for the security of Israel going forward, there needs to be a credible path to a two-state solution. And Prime Minister Netanyahu depends for his government on two very far-right ministers, Smotrich and...
Blah, blah, blah. I find bald people to talk too long. So anyway, that's Chris Coons, who, as it turns out, is bald. Of all people, Jonah Goldberg for the LA Times in his column this morning, did Trump literally threaten a bloodbath? No, and claiming he did only helps his campaign. So here is a bloodbath montage. This is just CNN and MSNBC over the past 6 months. This is them describing bloodbath for everything from primaries to national elections to Wall Street to the Chicago Bears personnel decisions to whatever.
Impending bloodbath. Columnist Charles Blow has a new piece for the New York Times entitled A Biden Bloodbath.
2018 midterms, you can bet that they 100% are fearing a slaughter. In fact, the word bloodbath and massacre come up frequently.
The Republican Party will be destroyed. It's going to be a bloodbath.
There's going to be a bloodbath one way or the other.
Bloodbath for Bernie Sanders.
It's been a bloodbath. They're shaping up to be a bloodbath.
Head off a bloodbath in next year's crucial midterm.
Off-year elections are off.
I think you get the feeling, and you know what? There's still 28 seconds to go, but I won't. I will spare you all from that. Now, today, the head fake of the national embarrassment that the media feel for going overboard on Trump saying bloodbath about the auto industry if Chinese, Mexican-made cars are allowed into the U.S. Now that they've learned what context means, they've moved on to outrage about Trump lecturing Jews how to love Israel. And that went a little something like this.
But I really believe they hate Israel. And they also...
Oh, is this thing 5 or thing 4?
Let's call this thing 5.
Thing 5.
Fifth thing.
See a lot of votes. Don't forget, when you see those Palestinian marches, even I'm amazed at how many people are in those marches. And guys like Schumer see that. And to him, it's votes. I think it's votes more than anything else, because he was always pro-Israel. He's very anti-Israel now. Any Jewish person that votes for Democrats hates their religion. They hate everything about Israel, and they should be ashamed of themselves.
And that's the pull quote that they're concentrating on right there. But everything else that Trump said in that interview with former White House blowhard Seb Gorka, like keeping billions of dollars away from Iran so they would slow down their nuclear development and the whole thing, that Biden overturned. That's correct, and they're terrified about that.